Okay, so editor .goToLocation.multiple. So this controls the behavior of goto commands, like goToDefinition, when multiple target locations exist. And you have, by default, you have this set to peak, and peak means show peak view in the results. And you have two other options. Goto, so this will go to that definition immediately. Go to the primary result and enable peakless navigation to others. And go to and peak, which is kind of weird because you jump to a place in the code, but you're still looking at the other definitions. I'm just going to show you how this works. So let's take a look at peak. This only works if you have multiple goto locations. So let me show you what that looks like. So we have two functions here, handle change and handle change. I just created this for testing purposes or to show you. And you can trigger a goto by pressing F12. And if you do that, it's going to show you this peak view where you have two definitions. So you have handle change event and handle change test. And you can use the arrow keys to select which one you want to jump to. And then you just press enter and you're there, right? And this is the peak view, right? If you set to goto and you're on handle change, so you have to have the cursor there in order to trigger the goto. So you press F12 and you just go to that definition, right? And if you press F12 again, you'll just iterate through all the definitions of this this function, this method. And finally, you have goto and peak. So if you're on handle change and you press F12, you're gonna go to handle change event, right? So the cursor is now there, but you're also peeking what other definitions exist. So if you press F12 again, actually, once the peak opens, F12 doesn't work anymore, so you just have to use the arrows, and then you can just select whichever you want. I prefer the peak option here because sometimes the functions may be kind of large and it's not very useful to jump between them. I would rather just take a look, take a peek at which function I really want to go to, and then I select the right one and just press enter, and I am not, like my editor is not jumping around. I only have this to choose the right function, this little peak view. Yeah, so my advice is to use peak. I think this is the most useful one. Also, one final thing. In peak view, you can do inline editing. So if you press F12 with your cursor on handle change, and you can take a look at all the definitions you have for this method here, but then you can actually do inline editing and you can do whatever you want here, right? So sometimes this is what you want to do. You just want to take a look at the function's definition, change something really quickly, like insert a console log when you're debugging or something like that, whatever it is, and just go back to where you were without jumping, without moving the place you are in your code.